Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're very well. Quite a few of you requested some more Christmas films from me, including Krampus, Home Alone 4 and Holiday Inn. I have seen them, so you can go and check out the full reactions to those over on my Patreon. With Home Alone 4, there is a massive review for it because it's so bad. But yeah, at the end of the Home Alone 4 part, there is actually 2 more reviews. So thank you very much for the requests. And here are my reviews. Okay, so I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it at the same time. That was the worst one out of the 4 I've seen. I'm really sorry to the people that have requested that. It was terribly made in some aspects. Nice little story in there, don't get me wrong. I love the twist on the whole Home Alone thing. The fact that Marv was back, but it was a completely different actor. That I'll get onto that in a second. But I did like there was a little bit more to the story. It wasn't just that he was home alone and you had some robbers trying to break in. It was the fact that the robbers were trying to break in.
We're here.
And they were gonna kidnap the prince.
Okay.
And someone in the household, like one of the members of staff, was actually in on it. And they tricked you into thinking it was Prescott when actually it was Molly. So where do I begin? Aside from the good things in there that do redeem it,
I'm glad you like it.
some of the good things were, I liked Prescott. I wasn't keen that he was a bad guy at the beginning, but he does play a very good evil person. All round, his character was very well done, and so was Molly's character actually. I didn't find her character bad or cheesily written, and I really enjoyed Marv and Vera's characters as well. And the actors who play them are brilliant. And they're comedic as well. They've got that real cartoonish style comedy elements to them. Similar to Harry and Marv in number 1 and 2. Yeah, they pulled it off very well. But here's where it gets into the bad part.
Never mind.
I don't like that they completely changed the cast. And I understand it, maybe they didn't want to, bring back the family, but then why not write it in a certain way where that could be an entirely separate family? Did it have to be the McAllisters? Did it have to be Peter McAllister? For some reason got a divorce and then went off with another lady called Natalie, who was very rich in a house, and then wanted to have a royal family over for Christmas. Did it have to be that? Could it not have been just a random family like the Joneses or something? It takes you out of the immersion. Like if you see number 1, 2 and 3, which probably people that are watching it have seen number 1, 2 and 3, and they think, oh, this is going to be another one in the same world kind of thing. It's like someone took another film and they just rebranded it with Home Alone and gave the characters their names. Because although they say, oh my god, it's Marv, and oh, that's Kevin, Marv never said Kevin's name, I'm pretty sure, in the films. So did he know his name? Because they've changed the entire cast. Now when he says, that's the kid I saw before, or that's Marv, blah blah blah, those 2 actors have never crossed paths before as Kevin and Marv, so it doesn't work. If they brought out Home Alone 4 where it introduced them completely anew as those characters, if that is what they were going to try and do, and just reintroduce all the characters with different actors, and then maybe done Home Alone 5 where they said those things to each other, where they've met each other before, but it just doesn't work this way around. I understand if it's a non-in-universe mention, if it's not trying to say to the audience, these are the characters that you saw in number 1 and 2, not in number 3 because they weren't the McAllisters, etc. But these are the characters you saw in number 1 and 2, okay? So put that in your mind, and these are those characters, but just different people playing them. If they didn't do that, and they just made it out to be just other people, that's what I'm saying, if they gave them other names, so maybe Pete McAllister was actually Monterey Jack, or, I don't know, just came up with the name. That's obviously a cheese, but you know what I mean? If they had other names, then it could kind of be forgiven, because then you could think maybe they have met before, maybe there was another previous incident or something. But no, we're taking to believe that they are the same characters, which they are the same characters, but they're not. They're not. But the bad aspects of the film, what was with the cutting their heads off constantly on shots? The headroom was ridiculous. It's like someone knows how to shoot kid actors, but he doesn't know how to shoot grown adults. The kids' headroom's fine, but then it goes to the adults and they're like this, talking the entire time off camera. But yeah, that's not the only bad bits of the film. It was like they'd chopped up remnants of the other Home Alone films, chucked in some different actors and went, we can make this film because people love the previous 3 films, or at least the previous 2 films, number 1 and 2, with those characters. The original idea behind either 1 or 2 or something was that Kevin, at the beginning of the film, sat in the front room or sat in his bedroom or something. He was going to be watching footage of him and his dad and Buzz and, you know, the family, like home video. He's going to be watching that at the beginning of the film. And what do they do in this? One of the first scenes is that. It seemed a bit disjointed. I think that's probably because they kept like remnants of other films. Feel like at times it was handled in a bit of a messy way. It was just like this whole jumble of storylines just smushed into one film, and they went, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
There were things that kept it similar to Home Alone 1. There was mentions in there of, you know, certain lines.
You're on fire.
Oh, thanks, baby. You're not so bad yourself.
No, sweetheart, you're really on fire.
Another thing I was kind of irked about as well was that soundtrack. It was so disjointed.
Trust me, it won't be pleasant.
At the beginning of the film, it seemed like someone had hired... No, not even that. It seemed like someone had just grabbed royalty-free music, plonked it onto the film, because it was very sort of plinkety-plonkety cheap music. Like they hadn't even hired anyone to do the soundtrack for the film yet, and they went, that'll do, let's just give it that. Then you had the rest of the music, so you had that one piece of music.
Kevin! Yeah! Hey!
That kept playing multiple times.
Music on.
It wasn't even that great a quality to warrant it to be a movie or a film, and I am like 100% sure it was a TV movie or an even straight to VHS film, most probably, because it was that bad. And I don't say that lightly, because I don't call every film, as you know, I don't call every film bad. And I mean, a lot of people said the Home Alone 3 was bad, and I really enjoyed Home Alone 3. But yeah, this one, just absolute bomb. The only redeeming features are the bad guys are quite funny.
Who's boss?
You're the boss.
I love being married, eh?
That's it. Anything I've said good about the film is pretty much all I think that is good about the film. Wait, it was filmed in South Africa? No. Yeah, Home Alone 4 was filmed in Cape Town, South Africa. The budget on the movie was so low that South Africa seemed the only viable option for filming. That has blown my mind. That did not... It makes perfect sense as to the reason why, you know, when they're travelling along that road, I was looking at it going, no, you're crazy. But it looked like South Africa. Yeah, so the film was set in Chicago, but shot in South Africa. The only shots I would say looked like South Africa was the driving shots, because it's the same road they use in any driving shot in that film, which would explain why the house of the mum looks like a picture, because it probably was a picture, because they couldn't afford to just get a shot of any house at Christmas time in America, or buy a shot from a company or something, just anything. I suppose the budget was that low, they probably couldn't even do that. Happy holidays! Such a beautiful Christmas film. Some bits in there obviously not quite set for nowadays, but the whole film is wonderful for the time, and just now, despite that scene, absolutely incredible. Loved it. Love all the snowy atmosphere, the Christmas time, the just the warmth in there. And I'm not entirely keen on Fred Astaire's character in it, but it was still funny. The little goofy bits that he added in there, and the dancing was amazing as always with Fred. And yeah, Bing Crosby is amazing. You could really see the heartfelt and the sorrow in his acting in that one. It was just absolutely beautiful. Yeah, there we go. The Connecticut Inn set for this film was reused by Paramount 12 years later as a Vermont Inn in the musical White Christmas from 1954, also starring Bing Crosby, and again with songs composed by Irving Berlin. Yes, because the films are somewhat identical from memory anyway. They're probably not. People are out there screaming at the screens right now, going, no, they're not identical. They're no way similar. They just use the same inn and have Bing Crosby with music by Irving Berlin. So they're somewhat identical, but not entirely identical. Yeah, so maybe Fred Astaire isn't in the other one. Is it Danny Kaye maybe in the other? Let me just check. Yeah, it was Danny Kaye. Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, Rosemary Clooney, and Vera Allen. I thought it was going to be different to that. I had a feeling it was going to be a horror film by the name, and that it was going to be like a play on Claws, but as some sinister horror thing. I was absolutely pleasantly surprised by it. At the first, it was like a nice little, warming movie, a little bit like Christmas Vacation with the family, and all the issues that the family had. And then when it brought in the horror element, when the girl went outside, etc., I thought, oh, this is going to be a really dark horror, which it was. It was a dark horror, but there was sort of strange comedy elements in there as well. That was like a dark comedy, like a black comedy mixed in with it, which was different in a good way. And I wasn't sure if I'd enjoy it as much as I really did enjoy it. It's something that I would actually watch again. I really loved the animatronic work that was done for the puppets and I say the puppets, but they were very, very similar to the puppetry that was used in, or the animatronics that was used in Labyrinth and other things similar. It was stunning to look at the work that they did on the bear and on Krampus itself, because Krampus itself reminded me as well of the Scrooged Ghost of Christmas Future. The big tall death, basically, the big tall Grim Reaper with the long claw hands and everything. Kind of had the same similar sort of vibe to that, and similar to when you open up the robes, all of the sort of creaturey type things in there. Oh wow, the visible breath in the cold exteriors was done digitally, but a major component of it involved filming real people in freezers reading dialogue for the scenes. Their breath was then isolated and added optically into the shots. That is incredibly minute details there, adding into that. Well guys, those are my reviews for Home Alone 4, Krampus and Holiday Inn. Hope you really enjoyed that video, and if you did like the video then please click on the like button and subscribe for, well, I say more things like this. I might do some more reviews if you really enjoyed these, or if you'd like to see me reviewing some other films that I've seen. Also, I am planning on going to see Avatar 2, so I'm probably going to give you a review of that. CGI-wise, it looks absolutely incredible. Storyline-wise, though, I don't know. I've seen some reviews for it, and they're not great. But I'm going to go into it with an open mind. The same with anything else that I see, I'm going into it with an open mind. Even Home Alone 4, I went into it with an open mind and was boggled. Anyway, that's all for today, guys. Take care, stay safe, have a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you're very, very well. And yeah, take care. Bye!